So hello everyone. I think I did, and now there won't be the noises, those repeated noises, and we can go ahead. I am really sorry for the trouble that I gave you. To each and every one of you. But see, this was my first time, okay, and that's why I have not solved each and every question. I have solved only 9 questions here, okay. So you can see from 1 to 9 questions are here. These 9 questions are here only, and we will only see these 9 questions today, okay. So this is our 9th question, okay. So we will see all those 9. So here is our first question. We'll start with the 2020 questions as well, because I have solved them, so I'll show you all of them too, and we'll go ahead with this, okay. So the first question is, dimensions of stress are the first question is dimensions of stress are, the first option is m1 l0 t minus 2, and the second option is m1 l minus 1 t minus 2, third option is m1 l1 t minus 2, and the fourth option is m1 l2 t minus 2. So we have to find the dimensions of stress, okay. So the main thing that we have to do here is we have to remember the basic dimensions or basic units. For these kinds of numericals, we have to always remember the basic things like basic units and basic dimensions, those fundamental dimensions and fundamental units, okay. So I have done the same thing. I know the formula of stress, okay. The formula of stress is force is equals to the formula of stress is equal to stress is equals to, the formula for stress is equals to force upon area, that is force per unit area. And I already know that force is having unit of newtons and area is having unit of meter squares, but newton can be represented as kilogram meter per second square, okay. So writing this in the dimensions, I will get kilogram will give you mass ka 1, and then meter will give you length ka 1, and this second square is t raised to minus 2, because this is in denominator, so this will become minus 2. And similarly for area it is meter square, so it will only give the dimension of length as 2, and this will become m0 l2 and t0. Now solving this further, we know that from denominator it will go to numerator, this plus 2 will become minus 2, okay, and 0 will remain as it is, so this become minus 2. And now what we will do, this m1 and m0, because we are multiplying the dimensions, power will be added, so this will be 1 as it is, this is l1 and this is l minus 2, so 1 minus 2 is minus 1, this will become minus 1, and t minus 2 plus 0 will give you t minus 2. So t minus 2 is here, and then using this we got the dimension of stress as m1 l minus 1 and t minus 2. So from here we can say our right answer is option number 2. So this is our right option. Okay. Now the second numerical is the energy equivalent of 0.5 gram of substance is. So we have given some mass, okay, and we have to convert it into the joule from gram, that is in the form of energy, okay. And we already know that the energy mass relation can be written as E is equals to mc square, right? This is Einstein's equation, okay. And then using this we have mass given as 0.5 gram, but we cannot put this 0.5 gram directly here, so we have converted it into the kilogram, that is 0.5 into 10 raised to minus 3 kilogram. And then here is our c, that is the velocity of light in vacuum, which is 3 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second. So I have also used this, and then substituting both of them, I got my answer as 0.5 into 10 raised to minus 3 as mass, and this c is 3 into 10 raised to 8 and its square, as it is c square. So now we'll go ahead and squaring this, will get 3 as 9, 3 ka square will be 9, and 10 raised to 8 will be squared to give you 10 raised to 16. And we already know that 0.5 is nothing but it is half, so half of 9 will be 4.5, and this is minus 3 and this is plus 16, both are having the same tens, okay. So the powers are going to be added, so minus 3 plus 16 will give you the plus 13. So from here you will get your answer as 4.5 into 10 raised to 13, and our right option will be answer number 4, that is option number 4. So here our right option will be 4.5 into 10 raised to 13 joule. So let's come to our question number 3. It is a question from, that is our measurement through micrometer screw gauge, okay. So question is, a screw gauge has least count of 0.01 millimeter and there are 50 divisions in its circular scale. The pitch of the screw gauge is given as, there are 4 options: 0.5 millimeter, 1.0 millimeter, 0.01 millimeter and 0.25 millimeter. So let's solve it. We already know that the formula for least count is pitch of main scale or the smallest division on main scale divided by number of division on circular scale. We don't know the value of pitch of main scale, so I have kept x on its place, and least count is already known, which is what, 0.1 millimeter. Actually I have done some mistake, you can see here I have written meter in the hurry, so that's why there will come millimeter. And then this 0.01 millimeter, I have not converted the units. Why? Because I have to find the answer in same unit, right? So that's why I have kept it as millimeter only, don't confuse here, it is millimeter, okay. And then this 50 is in denominator and this will go to the other side and will be multiplied. So 0.01 into 50 will give you 0.5 millimeter. So your right option will be the option number 1. So this is our question number 3. Let's go ahead. Let's go to the question number 4. Okay. So our fourth question is, the energy required to break one bond in DNA is given as 10 raised to minus 20 joule, and this value in electron volt is nearly. So there are 4 options: 0.06, 0.006, 6 and 0.6. Okay. So we have to find this same thing in the form of electron volt, that is conversion of the units. Okay. We have a relation of electron volt and joule as, that is 1 electron volt is equals to 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 joule, right? So from here we can write that 1 joule will be equals to 1 upon 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 electron volt. And now using this relation we have to convert 10 raised to minus 20 joule. Okay, so now on solving this we will get our answer. Okay, so here you can see that 10 raised to minus 19 and 10 raised to minus 20 are solved first. Okay, so this 10 raised to minus 19 will become 10 raised to plus 19, and 10 raised to plus 19 minus 20 will give you 10 raised to minus 1. 1 upon 1.6 will be as it is. On solving this we will get 0.625, and 10 raised to minus 1 is always there. So now this decimal will shift towards left one more place because it is minus 1. So this will become 0.0625 electron volt, and from here our right option will be the option number 1. So this is our right option, that is 0.06. Let's go to the question number 5. The question number 5 is the unit of thermal conductivity is. It is from NEET 2019. Okay, so we have already done all the questions of NEET 2020. Those were 4 questions from NEET 2020. Now NEET 2019. So we have to find the unit of thermal conductivity. So here you can see the same kind of question as you saw there in NEET 2020. So always remember there will be one question based on the units. Okay, so you can do anything, you can do dimensional analysis or you can go through the units and you can get your answer. Okay, so now here, because I solved that earlier, so I have just put the photo of that. So the question is here same. Okay, the options are only shuffled, so we have to see only our option, right option. Okay, we already know that the formula for thermal conductivity is K is equals to, so here you can see that block spot is showing here. Okay, that is my page where I have posted all these solutions, so you can get your solutions over my blogspot page too. Okay, I'll upload it later. So K is equals to Q into D divided by T into A into delta T, where Q is heat, T is time, D is distance between 2 points where conduction is occurring, A is area of conducting surface, and delta T is temperature difference. Okay, so now from these things, this specification, we can find the units. So unit for Q will be joule, unit for D will be meters, unit for time will be seconds, and unit of area will be meter square. And we already know that the unit for temperature will be Kelvin, which is our thermodynamic temperature. Now solving this and rearranging, we will get joule per second divided by meter into Kelvin. Why I have put this joule per second? Because I know that joule per second is nothing but watt. Okay, fine. So this is our thing. Okay, so rate of work done is power. So I have used that formula and I have written joule per second as watt, and this meter will become power minus 1, and this Kelvin will also get as its power as minus 1. Okay, so this is watt per meter Kelvin. So our right answer will be D here, and here our right answer will be A from here. Okay, now question number 6. Question number 6 is, in an experiment the percentage of error occurred in the measurement of a physical quantity A, B, C and D are 1%, 2%, 3% and 4% respectively. Then the maximum percentage of error in the measurement capital X, okay, where X is given as A square B raised to half divided by C raised to 1 by 3 into D cube. Okay, always remember this half, 1 by 3 are nothing but square roots and cube roots. Now here again I have the solution. You can see these questions are repeated, only solutions options are shuffled. So we can directly go to the solution. We know that the percentage error in x can be written as 2 into percentage error in that quantity which is a, then 1 by 2 into percentage error in b, and 1 by 3 into percentage error in c, and 3 into percentage error in d, because I have already told you that relative errors, while doing multiplication and division with relative errors, what we do, we just take these powers as multipliers, right? So we have just multiplied them. Okay, and now on solving them further, we'll get this as 1 by 3 into percentage error in c, which is 1%. Okay, here it is 3% actually in c. The percentage error in a is 1%, percentage error in b is 2%, and percentage error in c is 3%, and percentage error in d is 4%. Substituting this all, we will get our final answer as 16%. Why? Because 2 into 1% is 2%, half of 2% is 1%, 1/3 of 3% is 1%, and 3 into 4% is 12%. Adding them all will give you 16%, which is your right option. So 16% will be right option, and here option C is right from your paper which you got. I don't know which set is this, and from here option D is right from my question. Now let us go to the question number 7. Question number 7 is, a student measured the diameter of a small steel ball using a screw gauge of least count 0.001 centimeter. So we already know that least count of screw gauge mostly comes in this range only. Okay, the main scale reading is 5 millimeter, and 0 of circular scale division coincides with 25 divisions above the reference level. If screw gauge has a zero error of minus 0.004 centimeter, the correct diameter of the ball is, so here are 4 options: 0.521, 0.525 centimeter, 0.053 centimeter, and D is 0.529 centimeter. Also remember that the solution of this first, that is the question number 5th, question number 6th, and question number 7 are available on my channel, that is the recorded videos, so you can also refer those. Okay, so now here again I have repeated the question and the options are here. Right option will be the option D, that is option number 4, and from here the right option will be again same, D, 0.529. Let us see how I have solved it. Let's make all the units in centimeter, because yes, units should be in same system, that is CGS, MKS or SI. So I have taken all the units in centimeter. So you can see that main scale reading will become 0.5 centimeter, circular scale reading is in division, so it will be as it is, and least count will become 0.001 centimeter, which is already given in centimeter only, so nothing to worry here. And the zero error is minus of 0.04, because here he has written this is as minus 0.04 centimeter. Okay, now the diameter of ball or whatever measurement you are taking, the measurement through your micrometer screw gauge is written as main scale reading plus circular scale reading into least count minus zero error. So here main scale reading is 0.5, we know circular scale divisions are 25, and least count is 0.001 centimeter. So I have substituted this, and zero error is minus of 0.04. Always remember this minus is from formula and this minus is from given data. So using these two, this will become plus, and I will add all of them, and my final answer will be 0.529 centimeters. So my right option is option D, here also and here also. Now let us come to the question number 8, which is second last question actually. So here we will see this. The main scale of a vernier caliper has n divisions per centimeter. Okay, there are n divisions in each centimeter. So they have divided divided it in n minus 1 parts actually, okay, because there are n divisions, right? So each smallest division will be of what? 1 upon n centimeter, right? And now you can see that n divisions of the vernier scale are coinciding with n minus 1 divisions of main scale. So we have to find the least count. So here we got that smallest division on main scale is what? 1 upon n, right? And now the number of division on vernier scale will be what? The number of division on vernier scale will be n, because he has already written here, okay? So now n divisions on the vernier scale. So now using this you can write the least count of vernier caliper as smallest division on main scale divided by number of divisions on vernier scale, and this will give you 1 upon n, the whole thing divided by n. Now this n will go to numerator from denominator to give you 1 upon n, okay, and this thing will give you 1 upon n square. So your right option will be option C. Now let us come to the question number 9. This is a quite big, a lengthy question actually, because here you should remember the formula. So remembering formula will help you with these all things. Sorry for the delay as my battery was low. So this is question number 9. So here the question is, a physical quantity of dimension of length that can be formed out of c, g and e square upon 4 pi epsilon naught is. So here they have specified that is c is velocity of light, g is universal gravitational constant, okay, and then e is charge, okay. So we have to find the right option between A, B, C and D, okay. So here you can see the dimension of capital G can be easily find as L raised to 3, M minus 1 and T minus 2. How can you find this? You always know that you have some constant given in the exam, some values of constant. So from there you can find the unit of universal gravitation constant, universal gravitational constant as this, and then from there you can write this dimension. So you don't have to by heart it actually. You know also the unit of c, that is velocity of light, which is meter per second. From there you can find the dimension of c also. Yeah, so the difficult thing or where you have to struggle or do something is this e square upon 4 pi epsilon naught. But you know the force between two electrons can be written as e square upon 4 pi epsilon naught r square, right? I am taking magnitude, okay. So that's why here I can take this r square on the other side. So e square upon 4 pi epsilon naught can be written as force into this distance ka square. So from here you can substitute the units, which is Newton, and unit of this distance square is meter square, and using this we will get dimension as m1, L3 and T minus 2. Now suppose that, because LHS and RHS should be same, right? So L is equals to some constant which is dimensionless quantity, and this c raised to x, g raised to y and e square upon 4 pi epsilon raised to z. Now you can substitute the value of c, g and this e square upon 4 pi epsilon naught, that is the dimensions of each of them. And now as we are multiplying, the powers will be added. So this is 1x, that is x, this is 3y and this is 3z. I have forgot to written z over here. So here will come z and then 3z. So will give you this. Similarly it will do for 0, m0, so 0, so x into 0 will be 0. It is minus y and this is z, so minus y plus z. And similarly for t also you will get minus x, minus 2y and minus 2z. Now you can just compare these two sides, LHS and RHS. So this is 1 which can be compared to power of L, okay, both are L. M and M can be compared, T and T can be compared. So you'll get three equations: x plus 3y plus 3z equals to 1, and minus y plus z equal to 0, and minus x minus 2y minus 2z equals to 0. Now solving these equations simultaneously, we can get our answer as this. So you know that this can be written as y equals to z, because this is minus y. So this will go on the other side and will give you y equals to z. Now this can be substituted in your equation number 3, and this will give you x plus 4y. How it will give you? See, this is your y and this is your z. So I have written y on the place of z also, because they both are equal. So minus 2y, and this will also become minus 2y. Minus 2y minus 2y will give you minus 4y, and minus x minus 4y. So you can take minus common and throw it out on the RHS, which won't affect the equation, and you will get x plus 4y is equals to 0. So now this 4y will go on the other side and will give you x is equals to minus 4y. So value of x will be minus 4y. Okay, and now you can go to the equation number 3. Okay, so we'll give you this 2y is equals to 1. How it will give you? See here you can write x is equals to minus 4y, and here also you can write as 2y, right? Because here it is already z, as z can be written as y. You know that y is equals to z. So this will give you y as half, and similarly z will also be half, because you know that y is equals to z. And now substituting y and z ka value as given here in equation number 1 or 3, you will get your value of a as minus 2, and then substituting them you will get c raised to minus 2, z raised to half, e square upon 4 pi epsilon raised to half. So this will all come under a 1 bracket having power as half, and this minus 2 will become plus 2 by going into the denominator. So your option D will be right option. So here the right option is option number D. So these were all for today, and again very sorry for whatever happened today, because this is my first time, okay, and I was doing all those things for the first time. It was giving some trouble, but finally it happened, and yeah, I hope it was nice session. We'll see if we can do similar things for